Welcome to the Influence and Inspire podcast, episode 12. And I'm delighted to say my guest today is Mottie Omideyi Akapo, founder of and managing director of Joined Up Thinking, a not for profit organization providing mentoring services for young people. Hello, Mottie.
Hello, Ryan. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, how are you today?
Not too bad, but a bit of a sore throat, as you can hear.
Yes, a bit under the weather,
Yeah.
but you've
But
kept our
yeah,
appointment, which is
yeah.
excellent. So this is good. So I'll try not to make it too painful for you.
Thank you.
So first of all, Mottie, you worked at the NHS Trust for 19 years. Um, what was it that attracted you to work for the NHS in the first place?
Wow. I stumbled upon the NHS actually, if I'm truthful. I first worked in a company merely for just because I needed some money,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
I worked in a private company at Old Street, and I guess the next job from there it was in the finance department,
Mm-hmm.
and the next job from there that I found was in the NHS. Just so happened to be in the NHS and in their finance department.
All right.
Uh, yeah, in Hammersmith and Fulham at the time.
Mm-hmm.
That was wow, gosh, that was in 1995, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
it was
but
accident.
yeah, accident. But you stayed there for quite a while, so
Yes.
something must have kept you there apart from the money, obviously.
Yes. It did. I'd say by accident, but I think that was being a Christian. I think that was God ordained because
Yeah.
I remember my interview then, and I had gone to so many different interviews, and I walked in to this room, and I just knew that I had this job,
Mm.
so I immediately relaxed,
Yeah.
and I remember swiveling in my chair, which for me was not to it to be interviewed by two male interviewees.
Yeah.
But and I just thought, you know what, this job is mine. I'm just chilling here. And so it was actually, obviously, for 19 years, it was something that I was, supposed to be there, and just
Yeah.
I did so many different things. So from finance to HR to improving working lives, and then I did so many different projects
Mm-hmm.
with the NHS. So yeah, it was good. It was
Okay.
good. Good experience.
Okay. Whilst you're at the NHS, you worked on several initiatives, including health and wellbeing, which I suppose is quite important with NHS staff, particularly doctors who are working long hours
Mm.
and not having that work-life balance. How easy was it for you to get staff involved in these initiatives?
Health and wellbeing was actually quite easy because we always
Hmm.
had quite a bit of incentive for them to go.
Yeah.
The number one was a free massage.
All right. Okay.
So yeah, that was even that was, I think the time was about 10, depending on how many people, it was about 10 to 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So for staff to come in during their lunch break and sit down on a massage chair
Yeah.
and have their shoulders and their back rubbed, or their heads, for Indian head massage. Staff usually flocked to these health and wellbeing
Mm.
sessions.
Yeah.
There were a few times when we didn't have the massage therapist come in, and you could tell that was what they're interested in because the turnout would be low.
Mm-hmm.
But generally, it was quite easy because of the massage therapist. And then the other thing that people wanted to know about was their health in terms of their weight, their
Yeah.
BMI,
Yeah.
and any tips that we were given at the time that specialists would come in and give,
Mm-hmm.
and diets as well. So yeah, the staff were quite um, willing to come and find out those types of information and things that would benefit them. And then we gave freebies as well, so that's always a plus.
Yeah. And I suppose all of this was to help with staff morale. And do you think it helped?
Absolutely, it did. It did. When people, I mean, the feedback was always that, you know what, this is just brilliant, Mottie, just keep going at it.
Mm-hmm.
Are we having another one next year? Or please have one for every week. I just need this every week. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
staff really did benefit, yeah, and it boosted because the pay within the NHS is not, it's not great.
Mm-hmm.
But so these little incentives and these free initiatives really helped.
Right, okay. One of your other initiatives was coaching and mentoring, a coaching and mentoring scheme.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of the things, only one of the things that gave you an idea to set up joint up thinking.
Yeah.
What was it you identified whilst working with staff that made you want to take mentoring further?
One of the reasons why it was set up was because of the low. How can I put it now? Put it this way: within our BME staff, we noted that so many things that we noted, but one of the primary things was that BME staff weren't going or getting the higher paid jobs. They were not going for the interviews and applying for the higher paid jobs or getting them. And one of the things that we thought would help was coaching and mentoring. So that was one of the primary reasons why that was started. However, it was rolled out to all the staff because we didn't just want it to be for BME staff only. So we knew that it's one thing to read a job application, and it's another thing to be mentored or coached to go for it and to be able to answer questions during the interview. So the interview skills was actually quite, we found it was sort of lacking within BME. As BME staff, there was a feeling of being less
prepared, equipped.
Yeah, less prepared. It's not necessarily that we couldn't, but it's the feeling of, I think, the self-confidence more than anything. Of obviously the NHS is actually, I'll remove the word obviously because to somebody who's never worked there, it may not be so obvious, but it is actually, we call it a snow-peaked mountain. So you've got the white peak at the top, and then it darkens towards the base. That's how the NHS was. So people seeing that, BME staff seeing that, they weren't inclined to go for the top positions. And it's not necessarily because they don't have the qualifications or the skills, but definitely less of experience. So that was one of the reasons. So we thought to get people in higher positions to coach and mentor those in lower positions. And that was the primary reason why that scheme was brought about, and we thought it was quite helpful.
Yeah, no, it sounds very helpful. Did you get a lot of support from the actual NHS, from your management, to help this get on its feet?
Yeah, my manager was very supportive with from the initial idea to the actual running of it. She was very supportive. She gave me a budget for it. She allocated resources to getting this off the road. So yeah, she's very supportive. Some other managers were also supportive because obviously, as I said, it was from management down, senior management level, to mentor those on a more junior level. So some of those senior managers were supportive, and others they were already mentoring or coaching other staff. It was just in an official capacity. So there was support there. Others were quite busy and couldn't really see how it would fit in to the time that they've got doing other things, obviously running the organisation. But more so there was quite a lot of support.
Okay, good. And when you left the NHS, was the scheme still going?
It was.
Okay.
It was. I've not been in touch for a while, so I don't know how it's running, but it was definitely running when I left.
Good. So a long-lasting scheme then.
Yep.
Well done. Well done. So Mottie, from a young age, you've enjoyed helping people, so I'm told, and that was whether in Sunday school or youth clubs. But it was at a later age when you were volunteering at the church when you discovered your deeper passion for helping young people gain confidence and to reach their potential. What is it about mentoring that you are so passionate about?
It's the key thing for me is, you know, that moment when you encourage somebody
Mm-hmm.
and you draw out something that they've not quite realized that they have within themselves, or they've been too cautious. So they've seen it perhaps in one instant, but they dare not think that they've actually got this thing because, oh my gosh, it's just, too good to be true.
Mm-hmm.
But that key moment that you encourage them, and they realize that, you see the almost like the light switch comes
Yeah.
on just like that, and then you see the eyes sparkle, and then you see that a bit of more of an oomph in their step, in their speech, in their mannerism, in their attitude, whatever it is.
Mm.
And then you think, yeah, it's there. We're on our way. That's what does it for me. That realization of one's potential.
Okay, and how important do you think it is to mentor young people, or how important do you think mentoring is generally?
I think mentoring is so important, and I would not restrict it to just young people. I think mentoring is a necessity. I'll go as far as saying that, for anyone, because but especially for young people, because the young people are so impressionable,
Mm-hmm.
and especially in today's society, whereby anything can influence potentially a young person, especially within social media.
Mm.
They just have to converse with people on Twitter, or see their friends doing X, Y, and Z, and they feel left out, or they feel there's a conflict here, or situations at home. Just so many different aspects within life can either sway a young person towards the left or to the right, or halt them temporarily. And mentoring is I think is key, because it usually is an external person, so somebody who won't be biased by their situation, by being too close, or being in their immediate family
Yeah,
member or
yeah,
teacher, something like that. Yeah, that can provide that support in an unbiased way, and it's a continued support.
yeah. And I suppose when you're being mentored by someone who you don't know personally, then you're more likely to take on what they've had to say rather than your uncle or cousin, etc.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And it's really helpful, because it's not mentoring is something that it's not pressure that is put on you.
Mm-hmm.
Like a parent might say, you know what, you need to do this and you need to do that.
Yeah.
And it's not how would I put it? Like a teacher wouldn't necessarily apply that pressure, but a teacher might just, especially if you're not doing so well, a teacher might just say, give an instruction, and just leave you to it. It's up to you whether you do it or not. Do you see what I mean? But mentoring will help to guide and stir you in that direction, and support you, and help you to make those choices yourself. So it is very, very needed and beneficial.
So I assume you'd encourage a number of young people to get into mentoring and to be mentored.
Yes, I would. And our organisation, for instance, we mentor young people, not just young people who are in a disadvantaged situation, but young people who know that they want to perhaps go to university, or who know that they want to work in a certain area.
Mm-hmm.
So we help them with the choices that they've decided on already. So it could be a young person in any aspect of life that would need mentoring in any particular area, any area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to go back slightly, how different is it to mentor a young person than it is to mentor an adult?
How different?
Yeah, how because you've had an experience in both, haven't you? So
Yeah. I'm just thinking about what exactly is the difference. I think a young person but perhaps need more support. So I think it's just the level of support. But it depends on the adult, actually. Saying that, it
It
really
probably
depends.
does.
Yeah, and it depends on what it is that you're mentoring them for, what the mentoring is for. So, yeah, mentoring an adult tends to be more specific in my experience. So,
Yeah.
it's a more an area, a specialized area that they need mentoring in. For instance, it could be business related, or it could be a specific area in their personal life. So
Yeah.
it could be more guided, and I guess in that sense, it could be more coach,
Yeah. Yeah.
more coach would come into it. Just what I mean, coach orientated.
Yeah. Yeah.
So whereas a young person is wholly mentoring, and we tend to mentor young people in a set way in joined up thinking. Our age is from 11 to 30.
Okay. Okay.
So it does cross
A wide range.
over to the adult side, and that was mainly because, as I said, in so many different aspects of a young person's life, they need mentoring. So from starting secondary school, we thought that was a great place to start. Mentoring is really apt there. So then going to take GCSEs, taking A levels,
Yeah.
then going to university, the support is still needed. Then, when you come out, young people, when they come out of university, don't want to stop there.
No.
That's when they, the guidance and support, and okay, so which job to take. I was like, so how do I make this plan for getting a house, plan for relationships, plan for life basically outside of me. And then from there on, the next career between the ages of 21, 22 to 30. So there's different aspects. Whereas an adult, it is more specific. So adults that I've mentored, they tend to be for certain situations. So I guess the difference will be the support that I'm giving to them will be tailored, more tailored.
Yeah. Yeah. That mentoring from 11 to 30, I think that is so important, because they are the most important years of your life, aren't they? Where most things happen in people's life, where the changes happen. So it's really important to have someone alongside you through those years.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us a bit more about the programs that Joined Up Thinking offers?
Okay, so we have one-to-one mentoring, as I've just spoken about, and then we also offer group mentoring. So we've had some. So group mentoring just includes a group of young people, and the mentoring can be specific to certain topics or issues that are going on in the lives of those young people. The young people will in that certain group will be more closer in age. So we won't put an 11-year-old with a group of 20-something-year-olds, obviously. And we also have some other projects which we're getting off the ground. We have singing workshops, personal development workshops. These are workshops which are tailored to, can work in like a group mentoring session as well. So it includes mentoring, but activity based
with other aspects, and I suppose that makes kids more, or young people more comfortable with their surroundings.
Absolutely, and it will draw, like for instance, the singing workshops will draw young people. Some people like singing nowadays, so or music. So those are areas that young people are interested in, and then from there we can get them to or refer them to one-to-one mentoring if needed.
If they stand out, or they seem really interested, and feel like you can possibly see that the mentoring is helping them, and they might need a bit more personal mentoring to continue.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes, the behaviour within the sessions, because as I said, the group mentoring within that. So depending on whether the sessions are for self-confidence building.
Okay.
Predominantly, yeah. So when you're singing within a group, you learn some certain skills as well, soft skills, and then we have a performance towards the end. So if the aim is for young people to go through the workshops and to be able to have their self-confidence increase, to be able to stand in a group and perform. So if at the end of the session they are still, or we feel, obviously discussing with them and their parent, if we feel that they can benefit with further one-to-one mentoring to help develop their self-confidence, then that's offered.
So it seems like some of your programs, they focus on self-confidence. Have you found that this is lacking? Is this an area lacking with some young people today?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I don't know whether it's lacking more now. I'm inclined to think that, gosh, I think now they are, but that may just be me. But judging from when I was younger, I think there's more of a comparison.
Yeah.
Nowadays, there's more to compare. Yeah, and I think some of that stems from there. So young people can compare their self thought inadequacies with somebody else. So it's a perception. So they may not actually, more often they're not actually inadequate in the area that they think they are. It's how they perceive themselves, because they're comparing themselves with a colleague or a group of other people, or people they see on TV, or people they've heard in the music industry, or people that they're constantly relating to on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. So and I think because of that, that's, as I said, it's not any, there's no specific studies, although there are certain studies that also allude to that. But for me, that's my experience, that self-confidence really is an issue. It's a huge issue. And I guess seeing within the NHS also the issues with weight with young people as well, which has increased over the last how many years, and mental health issues as well. And some of that stems from a lack of self-confidence. So things like bulimia and anorexia. Also, young people, especially girls, comparing their body, how they look, to what they see online. It does not help their self-confidence at all.
And just on that, would you say you get more girls or boys in your mentoring groups at the moment?
More girls.
More girls.
Yeah.
And sorry to put you on the spot, but do you think there's any particular reason for that?
I was going to say, and I was trying to not to be make that comparison when I was giving my answer to your last question.
Yeah, sorry.
I think I'm inclined to think that girls have more of an issue.
Okay.
That's my personal opinion. I'm inclined to think that because just because I'm a woman, and there's more comparison. Women just tend to compare, everything really, hair, makeup, clothes, everything basically, and girls do that. They start from quite an early age.
And in this social media world that we're living in as well, it's probably made that worse,
scary.
hasn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely scary. So many things that I've heard of, in schools, from primary schools, the comparisons. I mean, I've got 2 daughters, and things that I hear from them also is quite scary.
Okay, so you've only been around for about just over a year, joined Up Thinking.
Yeah.
And have you, in that year, could you share any good news stories in the first year of Joined Up Thinking?
My good news stories are with the mentees. So we were just about to complete a year with a particular mentee, and she's gone from not being able to. like, to express herself, to being able to do just that and be more confident of who she is, you know, even in her situation. Obviously, I can't say too much more about
no, that's fine.
that. But yeah, it's things like that. So from where I started off by saying how mentoring is the way we work is it's a journey. So from the point where somebody starts to the point where they finish, we want to be able to see that difference in them. And a lot of the times it will be boosting the self-confidence. I mean, even with an adult as well, it's a lot of things that we go through in life has our self-confidence is involved. Do you see what I mean? Sorry, that's my computer. Our self-confidence is involved. So, you know, even if it's starting up a business, oh gosh, am I confident in doing it? Am I able to do it? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if it's trying to help somebody to write up a business plan or something, it's that confidence, giving them the confidence to believe that they can. So that's part of our, you know, our mentoring system, and we measure that in terms of what they were able to do at the start and now, and then that's been our success story of seeing.
Good. That's good to hear. Joined Up Thinking is currently based in East and South East London. Are there any plans to provide services on the wider parts of London anytime soon?
There are always plans, but the plans go according to our ability to do so and the scope in terms of funding. And we're in Kent as well. So that is
Kent.
So that is beyond southeast London.
Yeah, that is.
So, but we're in Kent because I mean I started it in Kent. I live in Kent.
Okay.
But I'm also heavily involved in South East London as well. So, I can't give you a time when we'll be expanding.
No, but that is the plan.
That is the plan, yeah.
And I suppose you probably need, do you need more mentors in different areas?
We do need more mentors. We'll always need more mentors. But we're also open to mentees.
Okay.
So if we've got a page on our website that that people can go to become to volunteer with us, to become a mentor, or if they want some mentoring, they can also contact us via our website as well.
Okay, and what's your website details?
It's www.joinedupthinking.co.uk. Okay,
and have you got any social media as well?
Yep, we are on Twitter, and Joined Up Think 2, and we're on Facebook at JUT/mentoring. Don't ask me about the different types of names. Our comms person has told me off for this, and so we've got to have it all the same.
Yeah, it happens.
But it does happen. And Instagram at Joined Up Think.
Okay. As always, I will put your links on the notes anyway. So when people need to get the details, they can go onto the show notes, and get those details. Well, Mottie, that brings me to the end of the interview. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
And keep up the good work.
Will do. Thank you very much.
And I hope you're feeling better soon.
Yes, thank you. I do too. Thank you very much.
Thanks.